Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Think I'm doing it. Think I'm officially broadcasting the sauce right now. All right. So, what am I doing? What is the what is the point of all of this? Why have I started this game dev stream? What are the goals? What is my life? All of that will be answered here and now. Now, let me go to my live. Is this how I do it? Live? Do I go live here? I'm learning how to use my computer. YouTube Studio. Content. Live. Do I have one that's yeah, I'm live. Let me check it. How do I manage it is the real question. Cause I could like manage this shit, no? It's on the studio, right? It's in the studio, huh? We got here community, content, customization, audio library, YouTube, your channel. Oh god. Alright, I'm live. Let me see, let me click it. To watching. We got Chill. Yo. Content, okay, I see. I started listening to myself. Yo, what's up, Shahil? Hold on. I'm figuring out how to actually do the live. I think I'm doing it. I could see. I could kind of see. But is this like truly live, or do I look at the OBS here? Chat rate 1. Menu. This is the live control panel. I really wanna learn before I start going crazy. YouTube Studio, I'm like almost 100% this is what I have to look at. And then I think I could go like straight to my live stream. I think that's like a thing. Yeah, go live. Stream. Manage. So I guess it's on. Yeah, I think it's working. I went to manage. I'm at the stream key. This looks kind of correct. All right, so what are we doing? This is going to be really hard for me to navigate for the first few of them because I'm just trying to learn, but what I'm doing is that I am going to stream the entire process through thick or thin, me working on a single player video game. Now, I have the video game already in my mind, like the ideas of it. It's going to be like a single player RPG. There's going to be stats involved. It's going to be kind of like a roguelike. I want you to kind of think of it like Hades mixed with Disco Elysium. You're going to have stats, and these stats are going to affect several things. And what I am trying to do is that I am trying to record the entire process and put it live the entire process of me creating this game. So I have like set up very basic things beforehand that really like have nothing to do with making the game. So I have already set up a Godot project with nothing in it. So this is a Godot project with just no stuff. I have a folder with my logos for my character in it. right? And that's that. So I basically have a blank project here. I also have a blank obsidian, which is just like a note taking of just nothing. It really has nothing. I figured out how to make it do daily notes, write the narrative, code design, etc. And I haven't really done anything else aside from that. So yeah, so I guess the first part is me actually figuring out like what I'm gonna do to work on this game for today. I guess I'm thinking of starting every stream with like some daily notes, and I think I do a note like this. Yeah. All right. So what are my goals for today? And this is gonna be my first stream actually trying to work on it. And I have all of the streams already planned out. So if you want to go and look at any of those streams, you can. But here we go. I'm gonna start working on it. And I also have this cool little tool. Let's see if it works. I believe it's the insert key that should zoom in, or maybe it's the delete key, home key. Doesn't work. Great. I had something that had it be. Maybe I have to turn on the script. Tools, scripts that actually zoomed in on display. OBS zoom. Right. And what's the button for it is the real question. All right, let's find out. We're gonna go look at this script that I have right now that's supposed to do the zoom, the OBS zoom, and how it works. Maybe it's numpad. It's on the numpad. One of these is supposed to let me zoom in and you can follow my cursor. I kind of forgot how to use it. Maybe I have to be actually selected on my thing. Let's find out. We're in a learning process here. Input, picture, controller, Ko-Fi. Display capture. All right, here, let's try a few. And oh, it is insert. Wow. Okay, great. So this is going to basically let me, and then if I select off of it, will it just not go back? Okay, it's insert that does it. Okay, great. I figured out how it works. Okay, so what are our goals for today, right? So here we go. What are our goals for today? For making our game. First thing is we are going to think about the mechanics and write them down. Another thing we are going to do is potentially work on the yeah, what are we going to work on? It's a good question. We're going to potentially work on the art for the main character. His name is Echo. Maybe work on some story beats for the character. Work on some story beats for the game. Trying to think of other things that I might be missing. But yeah, I'm thinking that's gonna be the most of it. What else? What else should I work on today? We're not gonna get into any 3D modeling or anything like that. One, I need education on 3D modeling, but honestly, if I get to a point where I just need to start 3D modeling things and they don't look as good, that's fine. I will eventually get to this. Two, Maybe we work on a basic isometric camera slash player blob today, potentially. Okay. So I guess we should get started, right? Okay, so here we go. This will be our overview file. Overview. And then I'm thinking I will have a folder that is also called mechanics. All right, what are we first? Okay, so what is Nomad? Let me just start writing this down. What is Nomad? Or, let me, or maybe I should start like this. Genre. Do I have slash commands? Yeah, I do. Slash, title, H1, yeah, H2. I don't even think I need that. Genre. Okay, let's do genre. Let's bold that thing. Isometric RPG rogue light game experience. Experience. It's gonna be roguelite or roguelike. I don't know what the difference is between a roguelite and a roguelite. So let me actually see. Let me actually Google that. Let's go crazy. Differences between roguelike and roguelite. Yeah, it's more like a roguelite, to be honest. Like, it's gonna, in my mind, we're gonna have it be a roguelite game because one big portion of this game is that name Nomad Echo. One big portion of this game is going to be basically my idea is that it's going to have a big story element. You're going to have 5 different skills, so I'll go over that and how it works in my mind. But basically, these skills that you're going to have are based on my TTRPG I made called Nomad. And in that game, you have 5 skills. They're like iron, grit, trail, blah blah blah, etc. You will level these skills up with NPCs throughout the story or whatever, and then as you level up these skills, like with different characters, you will then be able to unlock something called class cards. Now, what's a class card? A class card's going to be what's going to give you your abilities. So, you're going to have something called a class, this class card, I suppose, and your class card will give you abilities. So, let's let's go over this here. Let me do a tagline. Let me do a tagline for this game. Format bold. Okay. Tagline. Tagline is going to be. Well, tagline. What is it? Logline. That's more in film, but yeah. So you're gonna play as a robot called Echo. I'm gonna make it sound better later, but play as Echo, a prehistoric crank that wakes up hearing voices from the signal. Ooh. and you basically, so I kind of had the ideas is that you're gonna be like a lone robot, and in our world Nomad there are these robots called cranks, and basically overall in Nomad there is like this big understanding or big mechanic called the signal, and the signal is kind of like a voice that everybody who is a drifter hears that gives them special powers. So in this game, you're gonna fight your way through aberrations, nomadic bandits, and vicious robots through mind-bending aberrations. Nomadic bandits and vicious robots. Right. A prehistoric crank who's forgotten his memories. Who's forgotten his memories. He wakes up from he wakes up the signal wakes him up, maybe? The signal the signal wakes him up and says, it's time to find out. It's time to find out who you really came here for. It's time to find out. The signal calls to you. In this choice based RPG, in this choice based isometric combat focused RPG, fight your way through mind bending aberrations, nomadic bandits, and vicious robots that are going to stop you from finding your truth on the past. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Do, 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 do. I see I have to move my thing here. Might make it so that my script zooms out just a little bit. It seems like the zoom in is too big, so give me a second to adjust that. Yeah, the zoom to zoom how far? 2.0. We're gonna go 1.5. I think that would be a lot better. I changed it to 1.5. Okay. All right. So that is that. And now we have to think about a lot of things. I don't know if I should go into world building, narrative, the overall story, the main game. We got a lot to work through. I'm gonna make him. I feel like who awakens after 2,000 years with forgotten memories. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we should put some inspirations down. Inspirations. I feel like this will be important. Inspirations. Inspirations. Let's go here. Inspirations. All right, so what are my inspirations? One of my big inspirations for this game, in terms of an aesthetic level, so I honestly should split this up. We're going to do one aesthetics, gameplay. One will do for aesthetics and one will do for gameplay. So for the aesthetics, right? One of the big aesthetics that I'm going to try to do is, first of all, it's going to be like a low poly 3D sort of game. So, um, one of the low poly 3D games that I wanted to do, low poly 3D games. One of them that I wanted to do is not Radio Tower. What was it called? It was called I just oh yeah, Deep Rock Galactic. in terms of the in terms of like how well the models look, this is even going too far. I'm thinking that the look is going to be more like PS2, even like less poly than this. Like this is super low poly, but I want it even lower poly than this. Like even lower poly than this. What was the game that just came out that was like what was it called? Horror game PS2 graphics. It just came out. Huh. Um I could probably look up my Steam for it. It's coming to me. It's coming to me. God, I have to do so much brain pass, so much thinking. Tongue? Was it called Tongue? Something to do with. It was on a spaceship. Extermination, no. New. Mouthwashing. That's what it was. Yeah, this is the type of like yeah, even less than this though. Like this is one of the vibes though. Right. But even less than this. So this is pretty low poly already, but I even got less mouth washing 2024. Even less poly than this. Yeah, give me this, bro. Uh-huh. So, mouthwashing 2024, definitely good inspo. We'll do that. And next, what am I thinking of for other things? Oh, another game that I wanted to do was Greece. So this game, in terms of its like desert environment, so I kind of wanted to combine a big thing for me was and a style that I wanted to achieve. Style that I want to achieve is going to be more focused on 3D polygon look with watercolor flat shaded textures, etc. I wonder if that exists. Let's see if they got any 3D low poly watercolor. 3D low poly watercolor. No, but this is like in the cycles. Okay. Something like this, but I don't even like really see 3D watercolor model. I just like have like such a vision in my brain of this grease. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of like this watercolor style textures. This is kind of the vibes that I wanted to go with. Watercolor style textures, kind of making it look all low poly like this with these watercolor textures to kind of add flavor, add spice. Yeah, that's looking correct. Low polygon with watercolor style textures. Does this guy have any more? Hand painted watercolored pieces in 3D. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. This is a vibe. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Anybody else got any good? Well, I guess we're going to be going for something kind of new looking because this is the idea I have, but making it look low poly. So this, but low poly. This, but very low poly as an idea. Right? So here are some of the aesthetics I want. Like a low poly look, but I want it to be shaded as kind of like a watercolor look. Now, I definitely am going to have to do a lot of research on how to do this because I feel like it's breaching an interesting ground. But I got visions. I got hope and I got visions. What I'm definitely going to have to do is make like a texture palette with watercolor brushes that I use as my main colors. Definitely. And it's going to have to be more about that and less about like making textures because I just don't have the artistic skills to make textures for everything. I'm just going to have to use like base flat colors and then when I UV unwrap the models, I will just color them with like one palette and go from there. Like a texture palette. Okay, in terms of the gameplay, right? Now, not necessarily aesthetics, but for gameplay reasons. Okay, few things come to mind. One is going to be Hades 2. Another one is going to be, and this is for isometric gameplay with fighting aspects. Class cards similar to weapons. Level structure similar to Nomad combat loop. Okay. And you know what? That kind of, I mean, we'll get there, but okay, so isometric gameplay with fighting game aspects, class cards similar to weapons, level structure similar to no bad combat loop. Uh-huh. Then we're going to have something called artifacts, but they're going to be much different. So They're going to be a lot different than keepsakes. Keepsakes, but on crack. Activated ability to do something crazy in game smile. So that's one of the ideas I have for a mechanic. Okay, next thing that I'm going to draw inspiration from is definitely going to be Disco Elysium. And it's that this game is going to be really story based, and I guess Disco Elysium, like the aesthetic of its like thing, also kind of makes me feel like the aesthetics of it kind of would match what I want with Echo, with like Nomad Echo. And that it's got that like watercolory vibe, but this game definitely looks a little different than what I want. But this, like this, for example, this reminds me of something that I'd want to do. But it's like weird. I'm gonna try to bridge this watercolor texture into this low poly style. So think of these like mixed together. Think of these mixed together for the game. Right. For here, we got narrative, styling, and choices for mechanics. Oh, I gotta put these images in a new folder. Images. This. Narrative styling and choices for mechanics. Now, another game that I'm gonna try to replicate, one thing is, and I know this is a weird poll, but in Dispatch, they have episodic structure. That's gonna be part of my game as well. There's gonna be an episodic structure to it. So this like episodic structure, but released all at once, not in weekly manner. So there's gonna be like an episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4. Maybe as we build the game and develop it, once we finish episode 1, it might be best to work on it in episode layers and release each as demo. So then we get to release each as a demo as we're releasing the game. So it could be that, like, once I finish episode 1 content, we have all the base systems, episode 1 can come out, and then that will all get released, etc. Okay, so next we're going to talk about our design pillars. So I think I'm going to put this under code design. Okay, new note. Design pillars, maybe game loops, and design pillar, game loops, and like player motivation. Like motivation. Alright, this is gonna follow a Hades format. Now, what does this mean? Or an isometric combat format. Attack, evade, and punish. This is gonna be like a big core concept here of like what we're gonna do. Attack, evading, and punish. So I don't know if I should write the systems first or think about this. Let's start thinking about the systems. New note. Echoes. Player systems. Okay. Now I don't know if this should be maybe this should be an overview document with a folder inside of it and then we link to each thing. I think that is what we're gonna do. And we're gonna have player system parts. Okay, this will be, and maybe this will be more on the game. We'll make a new folder called mechanics. Maybe we'll just put it in mechanics. Player system parts, code design. Where the code design is going to be different. We're going to actually put all of this inside of the mechanics section. And work from here. So let's think here. Okay, so player system parts, and then I'm going to link to each of them. Okay, so the first part I'm going to think about is going to be the actual narrative system. Okay, so Echo, who is our prehistoric crank, I'm thinking he's gonna have the 5 abilities. Echo will have the 5 abilities that will measure his ability to use 1, class cards, 2, his relationships and choices in the game, and 3, progression events. Okay, choices with lowercase c, etc. Okay, so what are the 5? Oh yeah. And the 5 truths. Right? Okay, so in my TTRPG, we actually call this the 5 truths. Echo has the 5 truths. Okay. And then what are the 5 truths? So the 5 truths are going to be 1 will be 1. So there is grit, iron, cipher, it's not called negotiation. What is it called? The 5 truths. Let me look at my notes. Yeah, influence. I called it influence and trail. Okay, so what are each of these going to affect and how are they going to work in the actual systems of the game? Now, in my mind, I had it that grit would be related to health, hardiness, and certain classes like warden, some type of tank class, etc. Iron is all about weapons, so weapons, weapon damage, gunslinger, warrior class, etc. Just being like up front. Cipher is all about like using the signal. It's all about using the signal, using magic, etc. So signal manipulation. Um, and then magic classes like Shadow Shaman. That's one of them that is in the base game of the TTRPG. Magic, influence, negotiation skills, obviously, negotiation skills. And this would be used. There's like a vampire style class, but he's like a robot, so we probably won't make that. We might make something new. We give him diplomat, etc. Da, 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 talking to people. Negotiation skills, and then trail is going to be his movement. So like movement, and then maybe this is how many dashes he can do in a row, how many dashes he can do, and then some type of movement or trailer type class called like Explorer or something. We'll get into all that. Explorer, etc. So as he levels up, he will gain levels in these. Now, I don't think he will ever have like a true official level. He'll just be able to level his stats. So all of his stats, I'm thinking, are going to be tied to these 5 stats. And there's nothing else you could really put levels into. I'm thinking to simplify the game, all levels increased will be from these 5 stats. There will be no other levels asides from class card level ups, which I will go to in a second on what I think that should be. All right. So, narrative system examples. So, how I could kind of see this being used in a narrative system, right? You got like a guy who, you got Tony, and Tony's like, hey, Echo. Hey, Echo, you darn, darn son of a bitch. You know, I can't be having the likes of you staying at this old tavern. You wrecked the front of my shop. Okay, so then you would have this, and then Echo could respond. Echo responses. Then maybe there's a few that will have, you'll have one that will say something like grit 2, for example. I guess I shouldn't put it in that because it will link to a real document. Which one is not like that? Curly braces. Grit 2, for example. I ain't standing down from no man named Tony. Get out of my face. And we could have one that could be like, if you have influence 3, for example, could be like, please let me stay, Mr. Tony. And then number 4 could just be like a generic response like, sorry, yeah, I guess I'll leave. LOL. Honestly, there's like a part of me that wants to make it so that they just roll based on their actual skill, and if they fail, they level it up so that it decides your so that it starts leveling up your stuff. So I'm thinking that if there is a response that you can pick, it will then roll a percentage based on how well you will do on the situation. If you fail the roll that you choose, if you fail the truth that you choose, if you fail the truth that you choose, what? You get EXP towards that skill. So I'm thinking that one, this will promote you from picking options and failing anyway because it is hard to succeed as a new robot, but will be nice for you to get stat boosts even if you fail in the narrative. Succeeding will still give you EXP. Yeah, go crazy. And then, yeah, let's highlight that. Yeah, succeeding will still give you EXP. All right, so the way I kind of imagine it here, let me start whipping out the graphs here. Time to start whipping out the graphs. Okay, so let's make a new 1920 by 1080. Let's do a new. Do they have a 1920 by 1080 here? Just standard canvas. Easy money, standard canvas. Social, yeah, social media. Yo, social media portrait, bro. No. 1920 by 1080. No, full 80 1080p. This is what I'm gonna have my game in. All right, so here's gonna be the idea. So let's make a little circle. One of these is gonna be a circle here. Yeah, each of these will be a circle. Here's the idea. Yeah, rounded rectangle. Oh, you can make like a little llama thing. Cat. Huh. Okay. So here we go. Let's do this. This. Then let's copy that 5 times and just drag each of them down. Okay, like this, like this, like this, and like this. All right, so here we will have grit. Just make it look something nice. Yeah, grit. Going through each one here. One of them will be grit. Another one is going to be cipher, influence. Oh my god, too big. Fit on the thing. Grit, cipher, influence, iron, and trail. And then these are going to be broken up inside of each of them. I wonder if I can give them little boxes inside of each of them. No, it's okay. This is probably easier. So here we go. Let's start matching things. This right here. This rounded circle is going to go with this influence. And they are going to be one. And then inside of this influence, or they're all going to go in the same layer actually. So let's make a layer, group layer. Yeah. Influence. Right. This is going to be influence. Now let's make group layers for all of them. So this one is going to be a group layer with iron, group layer, iron, cipher. We're going to have cipher be a group layer with this one, cipher, group layer, cipher. Let's just have all of them next to each other. Nice. Grit will be a group layer with this one, I'm assuming. Yeah. Let's have it be a group layer for this one. Grit. And then we will have this one be a group layer with trail. Trail. Okay, so in each of these bars, there are going to be little sub bars under them, in my mind. So did this make it inside of it? No, I think I have to be actually selected on it and then it's okay. As I make them, I will add them. So here's my idea. There will be little sub bars under each of them. There should be. Oh, great. It actually put these two in the right places. This will go into cipher. This will go into influence, I want to say. Iron, influence, right? So here we go. Grit, right. So this one, we're going to make the color of it like a green. I guess I should have made it a rounded circle. I could just round the corners now. Rounded. Boom. And then inside of each of these, the idea is that they are going to have 5 different levels that you can get. So we are going to actually split these up into 5 different levels. So here, if I might just make lines. How do you make lines in this software? Adjustment, filter, erase, paint. Paint tool it is. Yeah, that's gonna have to be. So we will do paint tool here. Let's make it a lot lower. Or maybe not paint tool. Do we have, there's gotta be like just like a straight line, like type beat. I see. In painting brush. Oh, pen tool. I think this is what I want. And you go like this. And then can you just make like the make it black? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we wanna increase that thickness. Right. Okay, like this, like this. Right. Like this, like this, like this, like this. How many are here now? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Perfect. That's what I want. Okay. These are just rough illustrations of what I'm going to want it to look like, and then we could actually do some UI design later, but this is just the general idea. And then I wonder if there's a way to like make them all. If I do this and put them in this rounded rectangle here, and then I click on all of them, is there a way to transform objects separately? Move tool. Is there a way to adjust the shape of each of them? I guess it doesn't really matter. But here we go. So I low-key am going to copy all this work I did like this. Into each of the rectangles. So let's see if it works like this. So if I go to this rectangle here and I paste them, and then I drag them all down, they should be. Which one is that trail? The one all the way at the bottom here. Yeah. Okay. Not too bad. Now let's do cipher. Ain't nobody finna want to do all this work over again. Right? Now let's do influence. Like so. And then this is gonna be like this. This is gonna be like this. This we're gonna drag down here like so. This we're gonna drag down here like so. Okay. And then we're going to do one more rounded rectangle copy into this one's rectangle here. Iron, drag it down, boom. Right. And then each of them, this is going to be the idea kind of, is that each of them you're going to be able to level up like individually as you do certain things in each of the skills, and then you'll get a star. And the thing is that you'll have 5 of these abilities, and there will be 7 because lucky 7, because this is like a weird western type game. So we are going to do 777. Yeah, that's 7777. That's going to be the idea here. Idea is 7777. And then in each of these, you will be able to get. Oh, God. I should make it a star. Just makes so much more sense. A nice gold star when you level it up. Ooh. I see how this can be a problem. Let's put all these stars at the top for now. Iron influence 777. Let's bounce this at the top. Let's make these stars yellow. Right, yellow, yellow. And this is just a rough estimate of kind of the idea that I want to do for the actual leveling up of the stats. This will be like the progression. So the player progression will be tied to these stats here. So you'll have these stats, each of these 5 stats, and then you'll have these little EXP bars. I'm gonna write in this thing. EXP. Let me center it, bro. Justify center. Then let's make that thing bigger. Right. XP, EXP, EXP. So there you go. Now I got EXP in all of them dangs. Great. And then I'm gonna make the bars like actual. Huh. I guess I'll make the bars like actual gradients to make them look like. I don't know. Let me think about it. Right. If I do this, that changes the text. So now how do I change the background? Is it just in there now? Well, this is a good question. Okay, so now I have to figure out how to change the highlight color, center color. Well, let me select it not with this. Does it just change it to that? What if I select this directly with this? No. What if I select this on the outside, but don't make it... Okay, I see. What if I select this again? Goes to the frame text tool, I think. No, I'm not. So, right, you get the idea. So each of these will have like an EXP bar. You'll fill this up, this EXP bar. Then I guess I should make a duplicate one that showcases. Huh. Ah, found it. It's under the frame text tool setting. You gotta go frame text tools, and then here in the... Oh, you can make these like a hatch pattern? That's so nice. Wow. Cool. right? But instead of white, this will be like green, right? And then here you go, you fill it out. This will be like a dark gray to show you, like, look, we're not. Let's do like a gray, dark gray. How do you do a dark gray on this thing? Let's see. Gray is more like a bluish, right? I'm looking until gray shows up and I haven't seen it yet. Okay, it's more like, yeah, something like that. Anyway, you understand. This thing should be more like, it should be more, yeah. Yeah, it should be more green. Yeah, make it 100%. Huh, I'm learning. Right. So you got the EXP bar, you got the grit. The grit you're gonna basically level up each of the skills individually. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have each of the skills level up individually as I make this project. So I could have like a two and fucking two in here. I could have three in here if I wanted, etc. The five truths. So this will be like your main stats in the game. All right, let's save this. Good example. Save as. All right, let's start. Let's make a project. Game projects, Nomad Echo, new folder, pictures, or yeah, game mechanic pictures. And then under this game mechanic pictures, the five truths AF. And then I'll export that. And then I'll export the five truths like so. And now here, under my lovely game projects, Nomad Echo, game mechanic pictures, boom, 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 the five truths. These will go under images. So here we go. So you got the five truths. You basically can level them up out of 7. All right, here, wait, let me write that. Yeah, what are the five truths? Each truth represents a stat that can be leveled from 1 to 7. All stats start at 1. As you level up stats, you gain access to cards that let you to class cards that let you change your abilities in and out, sort of like a load out. Right? So then you get the five truths. You'll have grit, cipher, influence, iron, and trail. You'll be able to level them up to 7. That's kind of like the idea that I want. And then based on the amount that you have, you can, in the narrative system, change events and outcomes. So this is going to be a big part of the game. So basically, if you have enough grit, if you have enough cipher, influence, iron, trail, you can level up these powers through attempting to convince people with these abilities and to level them not. So let's say you have a grit 1 and an influence 3, for example, right? Next to them, I'm thinking that they are going to have like 40% success, 20% success, 10% EXP increase, 40% success, 5% increase, generic choice, all stats, 1% increase. So this will be the 5 troops, and then this is how the narrative system is going to work. And then we're going to have a branching narrative will be a branching dialogue system that will consist of choosing options to affect future story and characters. Okay. 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 Related topics. Okay, now we're going to make one called class cards. I'm pretty sure. So I wonder how you actually make a link to it. So if I copy the Obsidian URL, is that how that works here? No. Uh, how to make link Obsidian. How to make link Obsidian. So if I do this and I write class cards and then I click on it, I have to do 2. Is that what it is? I believe I have to do 2. Yeah, that would make sense. And then it's here. Right. Okay, what is a class card? Well, actually, maybe I should go about the basic inputs and abilities. So I'm thinking that this is going to be consistent. Okay, so consistent throughout every class card is going to be different abilities and loadouts for each. Okay, so here are the main things affected by class cards. Main ability, right click or trigger. Secondary ability, which will be like Q, E, whatever, one button. Ultimate ability, so that'll be like your R. And then a passive effect. Passive effect. No button, just a passive you get during the game. Okay, so main ability. Your main ability will consist of the primary weapon of your class card. For example, Echo's initial class card will include only his fists since he does not wake up with any weapons and fights using his robotics. Usually a spammable move or primary fire that will do a lot of damage. His secondary ability. Usually an ability on a cooldown that will usually an ability on a cooldown that will do something to boost the player's archetype or add secondary damage to the character, usually something related to their class and how they operate, potentially heals on some classes or does a utility that will work better for their class. Ultimate big boom ability. Ultimate will be like a big boom ability. That will do damage. or boost effectiveness, etc. Passive, an effect with no button on it that will help player in game. All right, so he'll always have a main ability, a secondary ability, an ultimate, and a passive. So each of the class cards will give him like a completely different set of moods. Now, this is like very similar to how Hades worked, where like you get your class, where you get like your weapon and then you level up your weapon. But in this, the class cards are gonna fundamentally change your character. And it will fundamentally change your look. And I'm thinking that also the class cards, I haven't like fully figured it out yet, but in my mind, you will have a class card at the start of a mission. I gotta really think about it. It's like, okay, so question, right? Question. Will class cards be selected at the start, and will they have their own levels? In my mind, they will scale off of specific RP elements like grit, influence, etc. And this will manipulate them. However, you will be able to make money and spend them to adjust and customize cards at will. For example, you can extract the Q ability on Echo's card and put it onto the card for Sorcerer, and it will get a new name and function. Combined name generated. And then, not related to class cards, not related to class cards, you will get an artifact. You will get 2 artifact slots. Each of these artifacts may be used or kept in your run as you play, and they affect various things in the level, such as what will they affect? Damage enemies do, physical attributes of the map, movement abilities, changes to environment, size, etc., they will be really wonky. Let me make a new draw. I'm gonna make a new drawing in here just to add it. And then can I link this drawing to um okay, this is nice. It just lets me do it really easy. Input abilities drawing. Great. Oh damn, you could do a whole pop one of these. Boom. Right. So you'll have this will be you. Let me get a picture of the Iron Giant. Iron Giant PNG. Yeah, bro, let's go crazy. Get the Iron Giant PNG in here, bro. Yeah, this will be you. Right. How do I actually move this thing? Weird. Maybe because it's out of the frame, it won't let me. But I can move this, so why can't I move this? Mm, Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is you, bro. This is you. Um, okay, so the one thing that I'm thinking that's going to be a lot different from this game that I think is going to make it a lot harder is that you are actually going to have something called severity instead of. You're going to have something called severity instead of actual health. And severity will mark down each time you take a hit. And you're going to have a total of 5, I think, to start. And this will scale with your grit. And this severity, what I'm thinking is that this severity, and let me, like this, like this, like these, this will get marked down every time you take a damage. Yeah, let's go crazy, bro. So this is like your health, right? So that will be like your health. And then each time you take a hit, one severity will get popped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the damage from enemies, instead of dealing like, oh, this is gonna deal 23 damage to you. Nah, like, oh, this is gonna deal 23. Nah, it's gonna deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 severity, for example. Severity. Let me look at my. Great. So that's kind of how that'll work. And then here I kind of have the idea. Let me put it back to. Let me make it black. Here we'll have our abilities. So this will be like. So this will be like your Q and E ability. This will be like your class card art. QER. And then you'll have two little symbols for artifacts. Okay. So this will be your Q, your E, and your R. So here we go. Q, E, or ability 1, primary, secondary, ulti. Okay. Kind of like this. These will be your artifacts here. Let me write this down. This over here will be your artifacts. Right. So here we go. Here I will have my artifacts. Let's write that down. Artifacts. Let's bring this up. Let's make this smaller. Yeah. And then we will have probably some bar. This doesn't look nice for a bar. Some bar here. This will be like ulti charge, ulti meter charge. Ultimate charge. Mm-hmm. Here you'll have your artifacts that you can equip. This will be your ulti charge here. Primary, secondary ult ability. Kind of the idea. This will be your health. Let's see, am I missing anything? Let me think. Maybe like a dash indicator, like when you have your dash up, like a little thing to show you when you have your dash up or not, maybe. Yeah, that seems to be the case. I guess I could also write a GUI, combat GUI. Am I missing anything else? Primary, secondary, ulti, artifacts. What else was I writing here? Yeah, your artifacts. Okay, and then I'm thinking here, I mean, I guess I might as well. This is just gonna be like a GUI. I guess I'll have a GUI, combat GUI, combat GUI, right? So here I'm thinking we will have some sort of map situation. Thinking that's what I'll do. Yeah. Some sort of like map situation here. Map game. Game game mini map. Yeah. Something like this. Get it? North. This will be some mini map. North, south, west, east, right, whatever. And then I'm thinking you'll have like a list of objectives. Is there gonna be like quests that people send you on? Like, are you gonna actually do that? Like, I don't think there will be like any like fetch quest situation. I think it'll be like every time you come back. Because I'm thinking it'll be like a very linear story. But I guess you could go and like do other things. Yeah, this will be like a quest objective. Some type of quest objective situation. Or maybe not. Huh. I got so many ideas that I don't even like really know. I am thinking that instead of doing that, you're going to be able to probably hover over this button to find out all the buffs, bonuses, things that you have, etc. Then over here in the bottom left, any objectives that you want, objectives or quests to do will be here in the combat area. Map. This will be circular mini map PNG. Boom. Right. This will be like some sort of mini map situation. Current level. The darkness. The darkness. Current level. Uh-huh. So this will be like the current level that you're on. And then we'll tell people like current level out of 4, 5, whatever. Right. And then this is gonna be like all like an isometric. It's funny because like I'm thinking like even like more it's not even like isometric. I'm thinking more like the Shape of Dreams sort of like look, which is more like MOBA style, I guess, or like top down MOBA style sort of look. Boom. But yeah, it'll be like this. Something like this. Boom. And then this will be sent to the back. Something lighter so that we can actually see it. Oh my god, the resolution is fucking trash. Do 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 do. All right, you do desert game. Do, 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 do. Yeah, yeah, some 3D isometric top-down type beat. Some 3D isometric top-down type beat environment. Send to back. And then let's can we adjust the opacity? Yeah, we can. Wow. Great. Something of this nature. This we should make black. Yeah, that's fine. We could see current level. Boom. You're clicking around. Have your primary, secondary. That in the picture will be a picture of your class card. Let me write that. Class card. I like that. Combat GUI, here we go. Objectives or quests to do. Current level. I'm trying to think of this. Is there anything else I'm missing here? Let me look at like other games GUIs just to kind of feel. Yeah, here we got the interface in game.com. Wow. Right. Left side, they have the boons, this thing, charges, your Stygian charges, your thing, all your little buffs. Right. This will be health right here. This is your severity. Okay. Character. Okay, then let's now do character stats. Okay, so how are the character stats determined? We will have severity, your character's current health. What else do we got? We got severity, character's current health. We will have move speed. That has to be, everybody likes moving fast. How fast you can move. Dash count. How many times you can dash. Now, there's not going to be any, like, basic attack in this game, so I don't even think I'm going to add, like, crit chance or crit. It just feels, like, crazy. But maybe I'll add ability damage, and ability crit. Damage abilities do abilities can crit for ability crit chance for abilities. Signal. Oh, that's the thing I want to add. Signal exposure. This will be like. Let me think about this. Right. So this is going to be a risk reward mechanic. Completing a level will allow you to choose from 3 different items. Stat increases or gameplay mechanic changes. Each will cost you signal exposure for taking the power or choosing not to take. Each level of signal exposure will give your character negative debuffs at the cost of power. Signal can be removed by not picking an item up on a specific level or by healing it at a rust mechanic slash rust priest on a run of the game. Having high signal could benefit some characters. Character classes. Character class cards. Let me see. Any other stats? Okay. So let me start thinking about this signal exposure mechanic. Signal exposure. Let me make a table. I'm thinking this is gonna need a table. Level and effect. Level 0. I'm thinking we're gonna have everything's gonna be 7 because we're cute like that. No effect. Audio slash visual cues. Nothing major. Reduce max severity by 1. Huh. Let me think about it. Enemies damage 1.25 times. Enemies movement 1.25 times. Enemies count 1.5 times. Gain psychotic debuff. What's the signal whisper? All stats reduced. Severity take 1 severity per round while at 7 signal. What is psychotic gonna give us? Your ability damage increases, but damage taken is 2x. Is 2 times the amount. Okay. What is the goal of the signal exposure system? This is a proposed minigame within the runs where you have to manage your signal level or risk being too overloaded with damage as you get items. This is a problem. Some characters or artifacts may manipulate this system in order to get crazy benefits. How fast you can move in a match. Let me look at other games like stats. Cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction. How much cooldown can you reduce? Shiner multiplier. How many shiners you can get in a run. What seems fitting for like a robot game? I feel like something mechanical. I feel like you just like want to like do something very mechanical, you know? For now, this is good, I think. Let me just look at other game stats. Shape of Dreams stat types. Wiki. Me when I have to hit the wiki type beat. Okay, here we go. Armor. What is armor? Nah, like armor, like you don't really need armor doesn't really mean anything to me. Armor don't really mean anything to me. Mm. I don't know, maybe I feel like a robot would have a barrier. That'll probably be the ability on one of the class cards that they get like a barrier that can like reflect or something. That just seems fire. An ability to reflect, but this seems good. Like it seems like enough stats. Yeah, this seems good to me in terms of the stats. Let me clean it up. Da-da-da-da-da. We do this format. Let's put it in a nice numbered list. Let's get each of them bolded. Bold, bold, bold. Me when I gotta hit the bold. Nice. Okay, so these are going to be the main stats of the character, like behind the scenes. So well, I guess this isn't really behind the scenes, but severity, signal exposure, move speed, dash count, ability damage, ability crit, cooldown reduction, and shiner multiplier. Or maybe like signal resistance. This is a good one. Signal resistance. Reduce how much signal you get from buffs at end of a round. Right, so we could do signal resistance. There's probably other ones that will come up in my mind. Because a big thing about like the powers that you're gonna get at the end is like they're not even gonna like really affect stats. I mean, they will slightly, some of them, to make your stats like go crazy. I want the player to feel powerful, but a big thing I want the people to feel is kind of like manipulating your already existing abilities. The fun part about doing a run is that depending on your class, you will find abilities that will mesh well, really well with your character. So, like making your ability shoot multiple times, or making it longer, or increasing the range, or whatever. So, that's the part that I really like. Or that's the part that makes the most sense to me. Right, class card. So, I mean, I guess I'll start thinking about this. So, what is a class card? A class card is what defines your main ability, your secondary ability, your ultimate, and your passive. Collecting class cards happen through three major ways. One, you trade with an NPC for one that you want. Two, you collect the class cards through narrative or RP choices. And three, completing runs will give you shiners that will let you purchase new class cards or artifacts. Using a class card will let you level it up and gain alternative abilities for that class. For example, I have a class card called Echo. Echo will have a main ability secondary ability, passive, and ultimate by default. As I complete runs or beat certain objectives, I get stars on my class card. Once I receive X amount of stars, you will then be able to level up your character. Well, you will then be able to unlock a second ability you can choose from the class card. Now I will look at my Nomad document that is on my Google Docs from my TTRPG. From my TTRPG, Nomad drive, Nomad document. Just looking it up on my cellular device. I just want to look at all the echoes that I had on here. They were called echoes in my game, but we're going to call them something else. We're calling them class cards here. But I might give them a different name eventually, but echoes, right? Right. So definitely one of the first class card subtypes. All right, here are all the ones that I think are going to be relevant. Echo, the robot. This is going to be Echo the pre-war crank. This is going to be a base class with a lot of customization. All right. Second class card I'm thinking of is going to be the Wild Sharpshooter. Guns based class. Uses a lot of projectile weaponry. Next one is going to be called a Waster Nomad. We're going to be a class that thrives on melee and scales off of signal exposure to deal big damage, high risk, high reward style class. Another one that we will do is a signal cultist. Uses mind bending powers and signal to manipulate enemies and make them attack each other / kill themselves. Applies status effects. Maybe. Sandweaver special class card that manipulates the sands of solitude and is focused on magic and defensive sand maneuvers. Shadow Shaman, a shaman that summons minions from aberrations and dips into the irregularities void and steals powers from them, dashes with a teleport because it's cool. Shiner Hoarder, a class that scales off of how much money you gain in a run. Farming class with funny mechanics slash implications on your character. Worm Warden, tank class specifically built to 1v1 bosses and take damage to dish it out. Rust Prophet, specifically degradation and poison style class with dots and lots of elemental abilities. The loser. Hard class with simple abilities but insanely buffed ultimate that turns you into a psycho beast that destroys everything type shit. Okay, so there are our subclasses. Okay, give me this. Is Control B gonna make it bold? No. That was Control. Yeah, it is. Hell yeah. Control B, Control B, Control B, Control B, Control Control B, Control B, Control B, Control B, Control B. Base class with a lot of customization, uses mechanical machinery to add on customizations for your character. Uses a lot of projectile weaponry, ricochet ability, Big damage. Big. Maneuvers. A shaman that summons right irregularities. Void. Shriner Hoarder, a class that scales of how much money you have. Farming class. Funny mechanics. Where Morden tank class was really built to 1v1 bosses and take damage and dish it out. Rust Prophet. Degradation, poison style class with dots and lots of elemental abilities, hard class with simple abilities, but insanely buffed ultimate that turns you into a psycho beast that destroys everything. Okay, so these are the subtypes for the class cards and what they do. And this is kind of the main idea for each of the class card sites, I'm thinking. This is going to be, and then I need to add on here severity. So you are going to actually have some interesting. These are going to be red. They're going to be like slightly tilted, I think. Oh, oh, nice. I can make them like, yeah, yeah. Really, really fuck them up and make them red. So these all will. I'm actually pretty sure I'm gonna make all of these here. This will be your ultimate bar here. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. This like this. This will be your severity. This is ultimate charge. This is ultimate charge. This is going to be. This is going to be signal exposure. Nice, 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 nice. Then this right here, we will make it, yeah, yeah, yeah. This will be, um, buffs, debuffs chosen in a run. Buffs and debuffs chosen in a run. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. That is that. Low key, I could probably make the class card better in this than I can in like actual fucking Okay. Let me actually delete this. Now let's add a new note. Um, Class card example. Okay. Da 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 da. Just making sure that there was actual noise coming out of my thing and not just me talking for the past 2 hours with nothing in it. New note. New note. No, we want a new drawing. Class card example. What are the vibes? Okay, here we go. Boom. This about to be light work. Boom, boom. Like this. Like this. One, two. Let me make them all the same size. Then this one's gonna be all special looking. Thicker. Crazier. Adding a whole background and everything, bro. Guess it will be like this, like this, like this. They should all just be like this. What's the point of like making them so crazy and but the size should matter. Me when size should matter. What did I call this one? Just like what did I call this one? I called it Echo the Pre-War Crank, yeah. Echo the Pre-War Crank. Alright, then I'm thinking that each of these will get a little, a little box of what they say type beat. And then, whoa, what is UI mode? No. I feel like there should be a place for art. Huh. I mean, I guess. mm, I guess this is gonna be a problem when there's no place for art, huh? Right? That's gonna be an issue. Like my Echo the pre-war crank. Yeah. Go crazy. Alright, yeah, go fucking crazy. Alright. Look at, like, how do they do a planeswalker? It's like, that's kind of the idea, but they have three abilities. But I guess you can, like, really cram some shit in there. Like, if you just get rid of this, and then you. Robot MTG art. Yeah, bro, like this. Robot MTG art. It's perfect. Let me really think about it. Let me send this to the back. Send to back. Old Western Tarot art. Old Western card art PNG. Oh, you know what? They probably will be double-sided. That just fucking rung in my brain. That makes sense that this is a digital game. Like this could just be the back of the card. This could just be the back of the card while the front has the art on it. So you could like actually have room to read the shit type beat on my beautiful wireframe. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. You take this, you go like this. Take this, you go like this. Right. Then this one, this will be your ultimate. This will be your passive, your Q, your E, ulti. Old Western Tower Art PNG single image. Yeah. Yeah, like this as a reference. Can you like, yeah, you can. Nice. Right. This will be like the front of the card and then the back of the card. Front. Front of card. Back of card. Yeah, here. Free RPG Warlock ability icons. Wow. Yeah, let me free download these, bro. Just sign in to download. Me. Free RPG ability icons. Ability icons itch.io. Let's see. So perfect. 25 free engineer skill icons. Never seen anything more beautiful in my life. These will go under game resources. Like this, like this. Go like this. Engineer free. Let's extract this. Extract all. Downloads. Engineer free. And then they're all right here. Let's go to Atom Games, Game Projects, Nomad, Assets, Prototype. Go here, Engineer Free. Let's bang that in here. Boom. Okay. Great. Now let's just pick the first four. It doesn't matter. So can I put an image in here? Export image. I don't even know what I'm looking at right there. I don't even know what I'm looking at. These are just free ones. Okay, this is like of a foot or something. Make this bad boy have rounded borders. But you get the idea. Okay. Rounded borders. Rounded borders. Everybody get them rounded borders. Wow. Engineer 4. Go. Wow, looks cool. Looks AI as fuck, but I'm not using it in anything. I fucking got these off itch.io. This right here, let's make these borders like this. Right, this should have... Oh, cool. Yeah, hatch, bro. Yeah, this will say something, this will say something, this will say something. this will say something. And then they will have little titles. Maybe the titles will go above it. Maybe. Or below the names, perhaps. Alt. Alt name. Secondary name. Maybe they do just go above them. Secondary name, alt name. Right, now that we can work with the full card, it'll be like something like that. Like that. Like that. Secondary name, alt name. Primary name. And then we'll have passive name. Passive name, like so. Yeah. Like that, right? Yeah, echo, this will be like the name of it. This would be here instead. Front of card, and then you flip it over. It'll say the information on the back of the card. Alt name, passive name, primary name. And then I'm like imagining Echo like putting it into like this like apparatus that he has at like the center of his fucking chest or on his arm. And he pops it in and it like inserts into like this little thing and then he like goes through like a magical girl transformation, but it's more like a robot, just like he goes through like a robotic transformation of how he looks a little. Or just like his hands change, his arms change. He will have different effects, like looking effect on him. Or it could just be a floating icon like above his head. Could be one or the other. One or the other. It could be the one, it could be the one or the other. So that's that for the front and back of the cards. That looks great. I'm feeling emotional about that. So here we got the combat GUI kind of thoughts on it. We got class cards. We got the idea of the class cards. We got the abilities, the inputs. Dash. A type of dash ability. Standard role dash for most classes. I'm thinking for most of the classes, we could have it be that they scale off of a certain. It might be interesting to have classes that scale off of a certain type of stat. Grit, for example, could scale worm. Worm Warden's abilities. All right, these are all right. So here's like a lot. Okay, so I have the class cards, signal exposure. I wrote about. Class cards I wrote about. What else do I need to write about? Anything else? Oh, I forgot to link the stream to my girlfriend. What the heck? I'm about to right now. Let me see. Boom. Boom. Damn, I really had a little pop off there at the start. I had a little pop off there at the start. Little pop off there at the start. Little pop off there at the start. All right. Okay. I'm getting quite tired. I'm trying to think of the last things that I might need to start writing about, but I'm feeling quite good. I'm feeling quite good. Uh-huh. Yes. 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 5 views. 5 viewers. Is that you, baby? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it was me. I think it was me going on it. Think that was me going on it. I'm thinking about what to do with my life. You're, 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 you're. I am currently thinking of the last things to add for today. Did I write about artifacts already? Did I like start writing about that? Not really. Artifacts. Grant specific bonuses, effects, or even help from allies as bonus usage. Acquired from completing runs, purchasing with shiners at the shop, or modifying the players, or gaining through story elements. For example, one gifted from an NPC at the start, or something like that. Example artifact will have either an active or non-active ability. Active ability will let you consume it in a run to do an extremely powerful effect, or one that offers a lighter passive effect through an entire run. Okay, that's that. Let me start adding headings to these things. Heading 2. Heading 2. Example benefits. Okay. That kind of makes sense to me. I guess I need to start thinking about. I guess I need to start thinking about the game loop. And I'll start that a little bit. Fiddling, this one takes a while. I'm gonna tell you about a machine named Echo. That's how I imagine the game to start. He's gonna be the narrator for the whole thing. Fiddling, this one takes a while. I'm gonna tell you about a machine named Echo. Right. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna write a little bit about the game loops, and then I'm calling it for the day. 3 hours has been a treat. Game loops. Okay. So what are the major game loops? Okay. Overarching game loop. Right here. Narrative, main story, get quest or quests from NPCs. Maybe I should build this. Can I link to a drawing? Embed a drawing. Okay, you can. So if I do this, so I could do this. Nice. Right. Okay. And then this combat GUI. This can go in the inputs and abilities / embed a drawing combat GUI. Game loops. slash create a new drawing in a new tab. Let me take all of these abilities, all these things and put them in the images. Let's take all of these and put them in the images. Mechanics. I might just separate those for a second. In a second. Game. Alright, I should write this out first. Narrative section with story. Level up stats in narrative. Combat section in wild. Rogue light area to fight. Complete quests slash get shiners in combat. Come back and gain class card level up through playing. Come back, finish quests. Slash buy stuff for shiners. Go back. Narrative section with story. Loop forever. Gaining stats in narrative and stats in combat. Become strong and progress through the story. Now I will quickly build the thing and then I'll call it quits for today. Let's make a new. Yeah, create a drawing in a new tab, bro. Can I curve this shit? Yeah. This is exactly what I want. This is exactly how I want it to be. Okay, like this. Here's the big picture. Here's the big MO. It's gonna be a 4-piece setup, a juicy 4-piece setup. This juicy 4-piece setup about to be insane. Level up combat. No, level up narrative skills. Enter combat. Finish combat portion. Level up combat skills. Purchase items, finish quests, continue narrative. Narrative should always be pushed, whether on failure or success of game. Boom. What are we going to call this? We're going to call this game loop overview. Mm-hmm. 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 There you go. Game loop overview. Yeah, we're going to level up the narrative skills. We're going to do narrative story progression, level up narrative skills, enter combat, finish combat portion, level up combat skills, purchase items, finish quest, continue narrative. That will be like the ultimate god trifecta three-piece. All right, I'm thinking that this is where I end for today. Thank you for anybody that stopped by for like 10, 15 minutes. You were chilling, vibing out, watching. Come see me again tomorrow, 9 p.m. I'm going to be grinding out this game live, all live, never stopping. I'm at the boring starting phases. No code, no Blender, no nothing. So, this is what I got. Bye. And I'm thinking that I will end the stream now.